If you want to get better at digital art, I have a tip for you. The first thing you want to do is grab a pencil and paper and practice whatever you wanted to practice on that paper. Why? Let me explain. So there are some traps you can fall into when practicing on your computer or iPad or whatever, like digitally, which you cannot on paper. There are like 5 reasons why I prefer practicing on paper rather than digitally. So the first thing is you cannot be that perfectionist when you're drawing on paper, just because there's a limited amount of erasing you can do before the paper becomes unusable. When studying on your computer, you can use like the Liquify tool or Transform tool to adjust your drawing, to make it more perfect, to make it more look like the reference. But by that, you're not really learning anything, are you? These tools are just not available with pencil and paper, so you have to be more mindful when it comes to studying. Which leads me into the second thing, which is mindfulness. Just because pencil is semi-permanent, I mean you can erase a couple of times, but because it's semi-permanent, you have to be more mindful when copying and therefore are more concentrated on learning things. You have to set your strokes with accuracy, or not accuracy necessarily, but with intent. Because of that, I feel like learning on paper is just more effective and gets you to your destiny faster. The third reason is that I find it way more easy to concentrate on paper than I find to concentrate on a screen. I don't know if it's just a me thing or an ADHD thing, but I feel like I get way more easily distracted by another screen if I'm already looking at a screen. I don't know if that makes sense. But the fourth thing does make sense. Which is, just because you cannot erase, cannot transform and stuff like that, mistakes get more obvious. Which might hurt at first, but if you can see your mistakes, you know what to practice. For example, I had to draw a head recently from a low angle. You all know the Frieren thing. And I was like, I thought I can do this, but apparently I can't. So I started, also shoulders and stuff like that. So I started practicing these heads, and I did Frieren here also. So a couple of times, and I mean, some of those look like terrible, which, I mean, okay, those are not that terrible, except maybe for this one. This one is actually pretty bad. But what I was meant to say is, when I started, like this one, I don't know what I did there. It looks awful. This one is also pretty bad. But when practicing with pencil, due to all of these reasons I've already stated, being more mindful, not having the opportunity to correct this thing to infinity, I improved pretty fast, I feel like. So that some of those don't look bad at all, and I think the Frieren came out pretty good, actually. But if I wouldn't have drawn on physical media, I don't think I would have practiced heads in this angle, just because I wouldn't have noticed my lack of knowledge in that area. And then there's the last reason, which is personally for me the ease to start. I don't know why, but sometimes, or many times, it's kind of a hurdle to just start your drawing program. I don't know why, it's a button click. But grabbing a piece of paper and just drawing is pretty easy. Like, I'm doing that like every day recently. I started drawing on paper actually pretty recently, because I've already had that fear of not being good and that being shown on paper. But I overcame it, so now it's pretty fun to draw on paper, actually. And all of these skills translate to digital media, obviously, which is why, if you want to get better at digital art, I recommend drawing on paper and transfer that knowledge into the digital world. Obviously, if you need to practice values or like colors in general or whatever, then physical media won't help you. But for everything that has to do with sketching or drawing, not painting, I think this will help. Yeah. I will go over my sketchbook, which I started to fill recently, like I said, in another video. So if you want to see that, just in the video.